Imagine a man standing in his cluttered garage, staring at a dusty set of golf clubs. Jeff Olson himself, years ago, wondering if those old clubs would ever lead him anywhere. He wasn't a pro, not even close. But he stumbled on something bigger than technique, a simple, almost invisible daily choice that would quietly transform his life. What if the smallest changes, the tiniest decisions you make every day, could build up and become unstoppable success? This isn't hype, it's what Jeff calls the slight edge. And that dusty garage, it's where the real journey begins. But what exactly is that slight edge? We'll unravel that next. You think big leaps build success, right? But what if it's the drip, drip, drip of tiny choices that actually change your life? Jeff discovered the secret lurking in the everyday routine, each small habit stacking like bricks. Jeff Olson talks about how he started reading just 10 pages a day, a tiny commitment. It felt trivial, barely noticeable. Yet months later, he found himself devouring entire books, shifting his mindset without even realizing the change. That simple morning routine wasn't just habit, it was ignition. And here's the cliffhanger. What if that one small act could ripple into everything else in life? Imagine your progress as a snowball rolling downhill, gathering more snow as it speeds up. That's what Olson calls the slight edge in action. A process where small, smart choices compound like interest in a bank account you forgot you opened. It's not overnight magic, but slow, steady buildup that eventually crushes giant obstacles. At first, those 10 pages seemed pointless, but as the weeks stacked up, Jeff noticed something wild: momentum. Success became less about willpower and more about inertia. The daily grind wasn't draining him, it was fueling him. That's the slight edge payoff, when the mundane becomes extraordinary and success feels inevitable. Here's a brutal truth. Most people don't fail because they lack talent or resources. They fail because they misunderstand what success really looks like, thinking it's one big event instead of thousands of tiny choices. Jeff calls this the invisible trap. Jeff tells the story of his early days, watching friends chase quick wins, lottery tickets, viral fame, overnight riches, only to fall flat. They want the fast jump, but the slight edge laughs at that. It's about delayed rewards, which most people dismiss because they crave the dopamine hit now. The real challenge? Staying on the path when the payoff is invisible. Picture a barely noticeable downward slope. You don't feel yourself sliding, but every bad choice nudges you closer to failure. Olson compares it to a cruise ship slowly turning. The shift is tiny but unstoppable if ignored. This downward curve is what traps most people. They don't collapse suddenly, they erode slowly, one ignored choice at a time. Here's a kicker. Many spend their lives building other people's dreams, working jobs or projects that drain their soul, because they never master the slight edge for themselves. Olson knew this well, having once been stuck in that cycle. Without understanding this subtle difference, you're just gathering wealth and success for someone else's vision, not yours. So what exactly is this slight edge? Not a hack, not a magic bullet. Jeff turns it into a philosophy of daily living, a way to see every choice as a fork in your journey. It's deceptively simple and wildly powerful. Jeff explains it through a story about brushing your teeth. It's not because you want perfect teeth tomorrow, but because daily brushing stacks up to lifetime health. Each small choice, though invisible daily, skews you toward success or failure. It's not rocket science. It's the subtle tilt of every tiny action that decides your fate. The slight edge applies universally. Olson shows how it works with your health, finances, and relationships alike. Every area obeys the same rule. He calls it a master key, opening every door at once. Whether you choose one more salad or one more dollar saved or one kind word, the math is the same. This isn't luck, it's consistent action. But here's the twist. Most people never notice these choices as they're happening. They happen beneath awareness like background noise. Jeff teaches you how to bring those invisible decisions into the light, and that's where the power kicks in. Once you see that your fate is being shaped every minute, everything changes. Here's a surprise Olson discovered after mastering the slight edge. Not just success, but happiness comes from the same simple source. It's not out there in some big event. It's quietly growing inside your daily choices. Jeff talks about how his pursuit of self-improvement unexpectedly unlocked happiness. Every day he invested in himself, not just for money or status, but because he was learning, growing, becoming more. That daily growth created a happiness that didn't depend on a check or a trophy. It was a quiet satisfaction, deeply rooted in progress itself. Olson discovered what he calls the ripple effect, how positive choices create waves in your relationships and environment. A simple smile or helping hand can spark kindness elsewhere, amplified beyond your wildest imagination. It's like dropping a pebble in a pond and watching circles spread infinitely. Your slight edge isn't just personal, it's contagious. In the end, happiness turns out to be the ultimate payoff of the slight edge, not just an accident but a direct result of mastering your daily choices. That's the radical insight. Happiness isn't chasing reward, it's a side effect of progress. And that side effect can reshape your life. Last piece, how to grab the slight edge and never let go. Jeff's path wasn't lucky or complicated, just intentional. You'll learn how to make this philosophy your secret weapon starting today. Jeff highlights that the magic moment is the decision itself, the tiny choice in the split second when you decide either to read one page, say no to junk food, or skip exercising. Capture those moments. One man in the book used a simple sticky note on his fridge to remind himself, "Which choice builds your future?" That question flipped his life on its head. Creating rituals doesn't have to be complicated. Olson advocates for starting ridiculously small, maybe just 10 push-ups or writing one sentence a day. The key is consistency. These rituals become automatic over time, turning success into something effortless. The slight edge isn't about grand gestures, it's about the disciplined grind you can actually maintain. When setbacks hit, and they will, Jeff shows how the slight edge gives you resilience. Instead of spiraling, you lean into your habits. One entrepreneur in the book faced bankruptcy but kept doing his tiny daily steps, reading, networking, budgeting, and slowly rebuilt. Setbacks become just bumps, not dead ends. Remember Jeff in that dusty garage holding those golf clubs. The journey started not when he swung hard, but when he chose to take that first small daily step toward improvement. The slight edge isn't about one big leap. It's about stacking the tiny wins, day after day, invisible but unstoppable. So tonight, try this. Pick one small positive action you'll repeat tomorrow, just one. Let it be your first brick, because those bricks, they build empires. Your empire is waiting. Subscribe for more book summaries like this one.